Alright, AutoCAD Basics Problems number 3, and this one you're going to have to follow both the PowerPoint and our video to help you through this, because the PowerPoint takes you step by step what you're supposed to be doing. So it takes you through and tells you what you're doing, how you're doing, objectives, how you start it, etc. So we go find it, and you just go through and follow all the different instructions. So everything, when you start wanting to know where am I getting the information from, etc., it's in the PowerPoint. Okay, so I'm literally going to be following commands like, well, literally it says type in C and then the enter key. So literally type in the letter C, enter key, etc. So that's literally what I'm doing. So I am doing all of that here. Okay, so I've opened the start file to start with. And the first thing I want to do is I want to do a save as. And I want to make sure I'm saving it to the right place. And I'm going to be saving it to that ACAD folder that I created for the course. So I can save everything in that folder. After I do that, I'm going to hit my save time. I set it to 5. I want visible to be the current layer, and then I'm going to draw the first circle. So it's just C, enter, 22, 29. Now it's way far down and I can't see it, so I can click here and do the little zoom extents, or I can zoom in and zoom out. Students will have a tendency to freak out a little bit because now it doesn't look like a circle. If you do a regen, and we're looking for the regen all, see how it's smoothed it out? So even though it's a circle, technically it's a bunch of little lines drawn together, and depending on how you zoom in and zoom out, it's going to look jagged and not look right. So if you just do a regen all, it regenerates the graphic interface for those individual little lines to make it look more like an actual curved surface. That's really how it works. Alright, so we're at the first circle. We've made sure visible layers on, you've done the circle. Oh yeah, O snap. I know it sounds weird, but make sure your O snap is on, make sure that they're all on. And make sure that dynamic input has been, F12 has been turned off, because otherwise if you have that floating box there, see, on and off, it's going to get in your way as you're trying to work things, okay? Alright, so we've got the first circle. So we do the first circle, and now we're going to draw an arc, so I'm going to type in A, enter, or you can pick the draw tool at the top, and 17, 19, enter, 19, 16, enter, 22, 15, enter. And I love it when it draws circles instead of arcs. A, enter. If you just draw something wrong, it's no big deal. Just delete it and try again. Looks right. Now I want you to see what happens if I try to do this exact same thing again, using those exact same coordinates, but with dynamic input on. So I'm literally just typing in the coordinates and hitting the enter key like it says in the instructions. I notice how it put it way out there. So if you're getting something like that, you know dynamic input is on and you want to turn it off. So this is one of those cases dynamic input is not our friend. Okay, so we've drawn our arc, and then we look at the instructions. What does it say to do now? It's just to draw another circle. So you can click on the circle draw command, or you can type the C, enter. Doesn't really matter to me. 17, 21, enter, then 2, enter. Great. Next we're going to draw a line, L, enter, and it says from 14, 21 to 20, 21. The enter key twice. So I'm literally following the instructions, what it tells me to do. Next it says we want to trim it, so we want to make it go away. So I go to click on the trim, hit spacebar on your keyboard, and then click the top. And then it's gone. And then we want to erase the line, so you can go to the eraser tool and select the object to be erased. Once you select what you want to erase, hit enter. Or you can pick the object to be erased and hit the delete key on your keyboard and it deletes it. And if you do something you shouldn't, you Control Z just like you do in any kind of program that we're looking in. Alright, next we want to do the mirror command. So we want to make a perfect copy of this. Think of this as the left smiley face and the left bottom of the smile. And we need a perfect copy of that. So we're going to do the mirror command. And you can pick each object individually, or you can use your mouse by doing the left click and putting a window around it. Doesn't matter, both steps work. Once you've selected everything you want to mirror, you hit enter, because again, this is like AutoCAD. Remember I said enter and escape, and the space bar will be your best friends. Then you want to tell it, okay, what do I want it to start at? So you got to be careful about this. You got to click there at the middle, and then make sure you're clicking, come on. Because if you move your mouse in a weird place, it's going to look really weird. Here in a second, I want you to go to the center. There it goes. Enter. Now I'm going to show you what happens if I had done it. Mirror. Come on. enter. And if I accidentally like pick just there a little bit, and then pick up, and hit the enter key. See how it looks? So we don't want that. Make sure it's mirror. Get the ones you need, hit the enter key. Straight up. There we go. Okay, so we've mirrored and we've got the bottom of our smiley face, and now we want to get one of our little eyeballs. So we're going to do the circle command. So C, enter, 20, 24, enter, and then 1, because it's really small. Now we could draw each of those coordinates again if we know what the coordinates were, but now, well, we do know what they are. We're going to use the copy tool. So you're going to go to copy, and you're going to select the eyeball. And you're going to hit enter, because it says, okay, so you want to copy just the circle. That's what we're telling it to do. It says, okay, where is your center, your specify your base point. Where is it going to start from? So you have to pick the middle of the eyeball. So AutoCAD is everything, telling it what you want to do, where do you want it to start, where do you want to go to. We want it to go to 22, 19, and then 24, 24. All right, so now we have our smiley face. Now we want to put the picture frame around a smiley face. So we're going to use the multi-line tool. You don't see the multi-line tool used as often as you used to. The multi-line tool, what it does is it draws two lines perfectly parallel at specific distance from each other. And this used to be extremely important for when we were doing architectural drawings, because you would need to draw walls and you would need them to be represented exactly that 6 inch apart or 4 inches apart, 12 inches apart, depending on what kind of wall you're drawing. And so you use multi-lines a lot. We don't use them as often as we used to, but occasionally you need them. Like you're trying to draw maybe a pipe and showing representation of the pipe when it was a 6 inch pipe. We use the multi-line tool for that also. So I'm going to draw a multi-line tool. I'm going to hit the escape to make sure I get out of it, because now I'm just in a plain blank command line. ML for multi-line, enter. And the first thing I ask you is justification, scale, or style. So you could change the style, justification, which direction you want it to go. There's lots of different things. We're just going to stick to scale. So S, enter. It has a scale of 1, so I want it to be exactly 1 unit apart. This is okay, so where do you want it to start? And so we want to start at 11,8, 11,31. Hit the enter key twice to finish it out. I want to draw another multi-line. I can type in ML again, or I can just hit enter, because when you hit enter, it brings up whatever the last command it is that you used in AutoCAD. It automatically assumes that that's what you want to do. Scale, enter, 1, enter. And then I have to tell it the coordinates, which would be 10, 31, and then 34, 31. All right, great. Now next we want to offset this, because we don't want to have to keep drawing lines. So we've got some lines for referencing, and we're going to use the offset command. And I want to show you what happens if we use the offset command before we explode it. So the offset command is your little thumb, where like there's a thumb and a thumb. So that's your little hint there, or you can type in off for offset. And the distance is going to be 21. And so I'm going to pick this multi-line here and click to the outside. And it should let me. Okay, there it goes. Well, it grabbed this circle. So it makes a perfect copy of the outside of it. So it's not letting us do it. So I'm going to get rid of that circle. And I want to explode, because I want to take these from multi-lines. So I wanted to take it from a solid line, 2 lines together, to 2 separate lines. So the little exploded box, or EXP, or EX, usually can work on your keyboard. Select the objects you want. Once they're selected like this and they're little dashed, little running ants, hit the enter key. And then go to offset, 21. And offset, move your mouse click. Select the one above it with your mouse. Move your mouse down and click, and then select each one of the lines here. Just pay attention to where you're selecting and putting it. Okay, the last thing to do is we want to trim and get rid of the area on the side. So again, that trim command and space bar. See how I was able to draw a window around, and you can pick each one of them individually if you want to. So if you wanted to, you could individually pick these, and I'm purposely doing this wrong to show you something that is quite often done by students, and then they get very frustrated and they start yelling for me for help, and they do this, and here we go, come on, and then they start clicking on these pieces on the outside, and they get really upset because they can't trim them. You can't trim them because they're now separated. They're no longer part of the piece. Those have to be erased or deleted. So if you trim in the wrong order and you have those little pieces on the outside, you can't trim them. You have to erase them. Now, if I go back to my paper space for the title block, notice my green smiley face is there. So all I need to do now is, again, double click, highlight it, put in my name, change the date, make sure you have the right extension for the course, which is this is 6103, you might be in 1 or 2. I put in professor, then do a save as. After you've saved it, you always want to do a save as just to make sure you've actually saved it to the right place, because nothing sucks worse than saving it in the wrong place. Then you would print it out, turn it in for grading, and then submit the electronic copy to Blackboard. You have to submit the electronic copy to Blackboard or it will not get graded on the paper. You have to turn in both. All right, congratulations, you just completed